So now that you've gotten to play with brackets a little bit, let's actually work with some styles. You actually saw kind of the start of it with the RGB plus A, alpha, to create that transparent color in the previous one. So using styles in HTML. Styles allow more precise design control. They allow working in other color spaces like the RGBA. They provide new design options, which you'll see lots of them. There's a lot of cool ones you can do. And they lead to CSS, which is super important. So this is sort of what they look like. You have some sort of elements tag, and then the attribute is style. And then inside of the quotation marks, you can set different properties. So let's give it a shot. Alright, so we're just going to do a new file, and let's just go ahead and save it at the start. Make sure it ends up with HTML mode. So we'll just put it on the desktop, and we'll just do a basic page.html. We'll just call it the same thing as before. Make sure the .html is on the end. Save it. We are now automatically in HTML. See all the different language choices here. Lots of choices. Pretty cool. We will start with the doc type, and we will start with the head tag. Nothing fancy. And there's some other stuff that I should be putting in the head, and we'll talk about that soon. Okay, and the body. And oh, I forgot the HTML tag. So even from the very start, we're going to start using styles. Instead of using a BG color, we're going to do a style equals, and the way the styles look is a little bit different. So background, to choose a background color, we don't do the equal sign inside of a style tag. We use the colon, and then we can choose a color. So like, for example, I don't know, we'll do like a really light gray, like CC. Is that a light gray? I want it to be a little bit lighter. Yeah, like that. We'll use that. Okay. When we finish it, we add a semicolon. And we can add another attribute, like color. And let's say that we want this to be maybe a really dark gray that's not quite black. So we'll go with like 222222. And I forgot the hashtag. There we go. And so there you go. So there's a style. So this is called an inline style because it's inline. It's part of it. It's not separate. So it's an inline style. And we can do other ones too. So let's do like we'll just start with a center tag, and inside of that we're going to do an h1 tag, and we're not going to finish it yet. We're going to put some style in there. So style equals, and I want backgrounds. So let's make this like yellow. So that would be red and green together. So we're going to do FF, hashtag FFFF00. And we're going to do fonts equals Arial. And we'll do border equals thick dashed blue. No. Yeah, because that will go nicely with the yellow. Basic page example. So before I get any further, let's just go ahead and take a look at that and see what that did. So here is my basic page example. We'll go ahead and open that with Firefox. There you go. Did that Arial work? I don't think that Arial worked. Did I do something wrong with that? Let's see, what if we do 35 point. Do I need to do that first? Or I need to specify a height? There we go. Okay, you gotta specify a height if you're gonna change the font through the font tag. But that's fine. So that's pretty cool. So what next? Let's go ahead and create a paragraph tag. And let's go ahead and make something called a span. And we're going to be using these pretty soon, so we'll go ahead and introduce them now. Well, I'll use it now and I'll talk more about it later. It's sort of an area. So in this, let's do backgrounds. Let's make this a little bit lighter of a color. So that was D, that was all D's. What if we do like maybe DE, DE, DE. Don't forget my hashtag on the fronts. And I want to do, I'm going to give it a margin. So we're going to do margin left. And we're going to make it 25px for pixels. And we're going to do a margin right as well. And we're going to make that 25 pixels. And inside of this span, we're just going to put some text. So let's go and grab the lorem ipsum. There we go, a good, nice amount of text to use. Go ahead and close this out because you don't need that anymore. I'm going to go ahead and drop that in there. Now, I do have this whole thing inside of one paragraph tag, and that's not ideal, but I'm just going to do that for now, just for this example. Typos. There we go. Alright, so let's go ahead and save this and see how this looks now. So Command S. There you go. So you can't see it very well, but it's there. Let's make that maybe a little bit more obvious. Maybe we make this all E's instead. I'm not so convinced that my margin... Is my margin working? What if we change this? So it's sort of working. It's working at the very start. I'm not sure if that margin right is working. something intense with it. Maybe. Would that be 125? What if we do like 425? No effect. So margin right isn't working. That's okay. You can use margins in a different way later on that will show. So let's see what else we can do. Let's get rid of some of this. I don't need all of this text. Okay. And let's do, we're going to do another center tag. And we're going to do an H3 tag. And inside of this, we are going to do style equals, we're going to do font weight. Did I spell that right? Yeah, that's right. Equals, I don't know, 200. Example header 3. Super creative today, I know. So go ahead and refresh this. And did that do anything? Let's change it. Let's do something more intense. So you can see it changes how bold it is. We also could have changed this. Instead of putting a number in there, we could also just tell it if we want bold. Let's actually go ahead and change this from style, from a font style. We're just going to go ahead and make this a new span instead, so we can see some of the differences. Just to make sure that the H3 tag isn't having an effect on it. So you can see there. Let's also do font equals, we're going to do 20 PT, and do I have Helvetica installed? Let's see. Helvetica. Save that. Refresh it. I do have Helvetica. Bold. Okay. Let's instead add a color. We'll do blue. I could have also typed in a hex value. So you can see there's a number of different things that you can do with this. And maybe let's play with the line height, which might be something that you're unfamiliar with. So let's see what this does. So see how it moved down? Let's we'll go ahead and move this. We'll go ahead and move down now. And let's go ahead and copy this. We're going to make a new span and play with some new styles in here. Let's do font variants. And we're going to do small caps. Actually, I want this to be a P style instead of a span style. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this. There we go. And what else do I want to do in here? I'm going to go ahead and do margin. And we can also list multiple values inside of margin. So like, let's do like 20px and then like 10px and then like, I don't know, like 50px and 100px. And let's add a background so we can actually see what's happening. And we're going to make this one darker than the original background. So we're going to do maybe hashtag CC. I'm going to do another border. So let's do border equals 10px, and let's try a groove border. And I want the color to be black. Alright, that should contrast nicely. So let's go ahead and see what I've just done. So there you go, some more things that you can do. So you can see the small caps instead of the lowercase letters. You can see the groove border. You can see the background is darker. Margin not being happy. That's okay. Maybe it doesn't like the P, the being part of the P style. What if I try padding instead? If margin doesn't want to work, maybe padding will cooperate for this one. So not every attribute works with every style. There we go. That's kind of more what I was going for. So sometimes you just have to kind of look and see what your other options are, and you can look up like lists of what all the different style types are. So there's tons.